What's up, people? Welcome back to another Lee's Corner. Today we're going to be talking about some more issues pulled from the headlines. It's crazy, I get a lot of people that always talk about Lee. Why you talk about race all the time? I'm like, hell, have you seen the headlines? That's all that's in there. Like I said, I'm glad to have my special guest back. We're gonna start with Miss Joyce Hobson Day. How are you doing, Joyce? Glad to have you back.
I am so well, Lee. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, no problem. My man Solomon is back as another special guest. How's it going, Solomon?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me back once again.
Oh, no problem. Glad to have y'all back. It is so much fun talking to you guys. I love dealing with all three, both of you guys, all three of you, all two of you, because of just the different mindsets. And I've heard from different people how even Solomon was different because he agreed with me on some things, but he also had a different, more, I guess the word that some of my friends used was lighter viewpoint than I did. And I consider myself optimistic, but you're more optimistic, I guess is what they're trying to say. Because I'm very optimistic, but I'm a Leo. I'm like that. And Joyce, like I said, has always brought a different thing to the table that I like, because I can't say I haven't met people like Joyce with her opinions. It's just that usually people like Joyce I would call a sellout, but Joyce ain't, because Joyce know who she is. She's like, I am for the army, but I do know I'm black too. I was black first. And that's what I like about Joyce. She's willing to put that out there. While I met a lot of people that's like, army, yes, sir. But you black too. But I was army first. No, you was black first. And I've seen that so many times that it's like she still recognizes, yes, I'm in the army. I love my country, but they can't trip. So that's what I like about how Joyce brings that all together into one person, and instead of like just the log line of, I'm army and I'll never be nothing else, and don't you ever say anything about my country and we're all here, and I'm just like, stop the bullshit, just stop playing. But that's what I like about you. But
Thank you, Lee.
what we're going to jump into today is, I picked two topics because I wanted to leave one or two things open for a quick discussion that I found out that really just bothered me. The first thing we're going to talk about is Atlanta, Georgia. The governor of Atlanta has signed in what most people have called a Jim Crow law, which is they call it Jim Crow 2.0. And basically what happened was, there's to get it accurately, he created a bill to basically try to hijack or to make it harder for black people to vote. Everybody was so mad, so upset, that black people showed up and showed out and put in Biden. And in over like 20 or 30 states, you have Republican governors trying to write up new laws to discourage black people from voting and to make it harder for black people to vote. It's really sad what's going on, and how they're trying to create legislation to make it harder for people to vote, and then they're trying to fight to say that it's not about vote. It's not about making it harder. We're trying to make it transparent, because last time there were people that felt like that they were cheated out of the vote, and it was only because they man didn't win. The everybody from the presidents, people down to the recount in Atlanta has said there was no voter fraud, but they still don't believe it. To get clarity on this, efforts to limit voting rights, 250 bills were introduced in legislators in 43 states. 250 plus bills were introduced to sideline our rights. Now, you might ask yourself, and this is a big story, but what happened during this was, to me, even bigger. You might ask yourself, what's in these bills? Well, let's go into it. What's in these bills that's so racist? Okay, well, what we did was, the last time to win this stuff is we extended hours for people to vote, because a lot of people don't get off till 5 o'clock. We extended hours for people to vote. We opened up more polling places for people to get to. Right? We did those type of things. We had You can have photo ID or you can have regular ID. Some people don't have picture ID. They have other forms of ID, you know? So we did all these things. Mail-in ballots, what really pissed off Donald Trump and everybody else. Oh, they couldn't stand the mail-in ballots. So much fraud. Less than 1% fraud was found. And when I say fraud, I mean somebody wrote on the ballot their wrong address. Not that they didn't exist, just a wrong address. And that was less than 1%. Less than 1% was not going to win him the presidency. Okay, so almost zero fraud. So they've done away with mail-in ballots and all that kind of stuff. We did mail-in ballots and stuff because of COVID. You know, people didn't want to go to the polls. We said you could do mail-in ballots and all that kind of stuff. Our president himself did a mail-in ballot. Trump did a mail-in ballot. Okay, he's so against it, but he did one. Okay, so what they've done is stripped all of that away. Your ass ain't at the polls by 5, you don't get to vote. We're going to shut down some polling places closer to the black neighborhoods so they can't seem to get there. Oh, we're going to give you a Saturday or Sunday to vote because we took away your all day or longer voting hours. And no mail-in ballots unless absolutely necessary. And the cherry on top is the state wrote in for themselves, if we don't like who's basically counting the ballots, the states can tell people to, hey, go in there and check on them. So I can kick people off the voting ballot lines and I go in and make sure that it's going okay. Now, if that's not a situation set up to create voter fraud, I don't know what is. You've been able to kick people off the lines talking about, well, it's too many people voting in for Biden. I done seen too many people. So I done seen too many votes. Where's the Republican votes? I'm kicking you off. You go. I'm going to go look for the votes. Now, that type of shit right there, that's type of stuff that they're doing. And they're trying to say it's not, stripping any rights away from anybody. If anything, we're helping you and all this other kind of shit. Now, that's what they're doing to strip away rights. Okay. Now, the worst thing that happened when the governor was signing this bill, he was in it. Y'all probably done seen it. He was in his office with a plantation picture behind him with 4 other white men who are legislators who were put there by the people. There was a black woman legislator who walked up and knocked on his door because she wanted to see the signing. She was immediately arrested and charged with 2 felonies. Now, this ain't going to hold water, right? But the fact of the matter is, she said she was traumatized. I would have a legal right to be there. I broke no laws. Now, amazing. She was arrested immediately by 2 cops. Okay. This is what I try to tell people about America when they try to tell me America's fair. When black folks try to tell me America's fair, America's this, you had people lay siege to the Capitol January 6th. It took people 4 to 5 hours and people still did not go directly to jail. But this one black woman was such a threat. As soon as she knocked on the door, cops said, we're right there. You're going right now. That's the racism we have in this country that people try to act like does not exist. She went to jail. They cuffed her. She was walking. You should have seen them sisters too. Them sisters was mad. Must have been other legislators. What did she do? Cite the code. Cite the sanction. What did she do? Oh, they were upset. They gave them cops the business. I was like, what? I was like, baby, don't fight them. Don't fight them. Just walk with them. Don't fight them. Don't fight them. Because, she turned around, trying to talk to her mask, and all her other girlfriends is like, that's right. Cite it. What is it? Blah, 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 blah. White men getting all nervous, black women angry. We need some help over here. They were like, you take her to jail and book this woman on 2 felonies. But this is the point I try to tell folks all the time when you worry about these police officers. Police officers can just arrest you to fuck up your day. It ain't got to hold up. They'll drop the damn charges 2 days later. They just want to fuck up your day. Now, see, I believe if you're able to fuck up my day and these charges weren't necessary, you wasted my time. So now you should be put on notice. You dropped the charges, you wasted my time. Right. You booked me, you fingerprinted me. So now you should lose your job, or you should be sanctioned, or you should have some money taken away. Something needs to happen to you for wasting you knew these charges wasn't going to stick. Come on. And I personally think she was a legislator, just like those 3 white men were inside there with the governor signing the thing. I'm like, how did she get arrested? That had to be ordered by the governor. If that black bitch come up here, y'all make sure she's arrested, okay? I don't want nobody touching this door. She had a right to be there, a legal right to be there. So what was she doing? Two federal, I mean, y'all thoughts?
I think it's just becoming more blatant and more racist as we go along now. It's weird. It's just like we see it, but even though they don't say like, oh yeah, I'm not a racist, it feels like people are giving them the pass to do whatever they want because they don't say that they're racist, but their actions say otherwise. Within their actions and stuff, they do this and then they do that to black people. Say, "Oh no, well, we're not racist. We're just abiding by the law." This has gone on for way too long. You know what I mean? And it's just making up excuse after excuse after excuse. I mean, even when I heard about this, it just kind of made me sick to my stomach. I was sitting there watching this program, and then for them to have two law enforcement arrest a black lady for being in the right place when she's supposed to, legally, not one, but two, to carry her out. It's very sickening. It's like, when is this going to stop? Now they're arresting people for knocking on the door. What sense does that make? I have no idea. But the way of living over here is just getting worse. I'm not sure which way it's going, but it's just a very much racist country. It just made me sick to my stomach for a second.
As it should. As it should.
Yeah, it was just very hard to digest. Like when we can't even have people going through the system and then going through legislation and going through the government to fight for the normal rights, what do we do? When you do having like states trying to limit black people's votes, what do you do? I mean, they are further pushing people into a corner. There's going to come a point where things are going to happen dramatically. I mean, I do believe it's just all these old fogies. They need to literally like put down that baton and like let other people kind of handle this. That old world has gone now, should be gone, but they're still carrying on this crime, which is racism.
I'm gonna let Joyce chime in, and I want to comment on what you just said because I have something for what you just said. But go ahead, Joyce. I want to hear what you have to say on this too.
So he's right. What it does for the American people, who are all people and people of all races, right? What it does is it sets the tone for where we are still and where we have not grown. We have not grown from the incident that happened on January the 6th, because there still hasn't been. Like, we may hear some news outlets and we may hear some news story about what may have happened to a few of the people, but justice has not been served, you see. And until justice is served, there is going to be an ongoing buildup of incidents that happens that gives them more permission to continue with the nonsense and this road that they've been on. You see, because no one was held accountable for the first acts or so. Like when the Black Lives Matter protest was going and you know, the commander in chief came meandering through the crowd and they had to drop the smoke bombs, right? There were even incidents. So hear this one though. When this recent spring break in Florida, let's just go there. There was a lot of colored folk, you hear me? A lot of colored folk on the beach. That governor did not like the sight that he saw. So what did he do? He authorized for the National Guard, either National Guard or police, either or, same kind of alignment, but different. It depends on who's the doer. They drop smoke bombs from the sky, like what we call air support. So they did an ongoing air support of smoke bombs to get the crowd to shape it the way they needed it at that moment. You see, they didn't wait until the night had grew 4 hours until the foolishness. They didn't even give the people a chance to get comfortable. On site, when the first filling, where this representative, the governor, he felt like he needed to do something because he said that I felt like we were becoming to be for the COVID numbers to rise, right? So he felt he needed to impact the situation. In addition to them dropping those smoke bombs on innocent people with kids and all kinds of stuff that was going on.
Let me interrupt real quick. You said that the governor was saying that he was doing this because of COVID? He
said that he was trying to be able to protect, right, what would have been created as, I'm giving my spin on what I interpret. This is my interpretation of what he was saying. But he alluded to the fact that in order for me not to see an influx of cases, I needed to stop it at that point where it would have been mutating. Okay, so you said that he did this because he's saying that he did this to stop the spread of COVID. This coming from, and I believe you're talking about Governor Santos. Whichever one is in Florida, yeah.
In Florida, yeah. So this will be the one who said, open up, don't wear masks. So how all of a sudden you're gonna tell people to open up, don't wear masks, but you're scared of Black people spreading it?
But here's what he said, though.
That's amazing.
What he said was the majority, like as if there was like a, like somebody scanning IDs or something as they walk through the, I don't know how you could get accountability of who lives in your town or who doesn't, who's really in your jurisdiction or who flew into your jurisdiction. I don't know how he could have gained just by visually looking. I don't know how he could have gained the analysis to say, oh, I'm almost sure that the majority of the people that were there were not citizens of the community. It doesn't matter because it ain't your country, it ain't your state, it's our state because we are the citizen of the United States. That means we get to move and meander wherever our feet, wherever our minds take us. If we have a vacation that we want to go pop off, wherever it is within the 50 continuum, then we on our way. No governor get to tell us American citizens, that we don't get to go wherever we want to go to vacate. And you can just judge us by the scene and say, I just felt like it was more than that are citizens of Florida. So I'm gonna send some smoke now. In addition to that, I'm gonna put a curfew on this. So y'all better be in the house by 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I'm putting a curfew on it. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna do it for all week because I know spring break only lasts for 7 days, right? You got your weekend and your 5 days. Some people get more, give or take. I'm gonna slam this thing down on y'all. I'm gonna smack it down, and I want it to last 7 days at least. At least I've cut the influx. It is just outright wrong. And he's doing it because guess what? The other people that allow these unethical, they're racial inequality acts in your face. I'm just gonna do it in your face. I ain't even finna hide it, right? Because I'm gonna drop this smoke bomb from the sky, right? Because I'm gonna put in a call. However, right? The same call he put in, someone else put it in at the Capitol, but no one acted upon the call. I have a real problem with it. I really do. And it's a senseless act, and it violates all kinds of amendments of us American people. And it also violates laws and rules of the oath that you took, you see, because there's better ways to handle things. You're supposed to try to handle it on foot. You're supposed to try to handle it the most inexpensive way. before you go creating some big bill that you want to drop down smoke bombs. Inconsistent.
I'm gonna get it at yours and hers. I will say this though, for both of you, what you said. Number one, I've tried to tell people this for a long time. You know, my daddy's 74 years old and he's still thinking he's an American citizen. I said, you know, you're not an American citizen. You can say you're an American citizen all day, but you're not an American citizen. They don't treat citizens like that.
Well, they don't treat us like that.
You know how they treat American citizens? They treat American citizens like they treated those people who took over the Capitol.
Un-American, yeah.
That's what they treat American citizens like.
But
what are the words that they said? When they were in the Senate and they were grilling the FBI and they were grilling the Army Reserves. What's the first word they said that everyone was talking about? Why they didn't send the people on time? We were worried about optics. What optics? How it would look if you had these people beating up white folks on national TV. That's what I'm saying. You're not citizens. They never took out 3/5 of a man. It was never removed. I don't care how many amendments they put on there, Amendment 15, 13, all this other. They never removed you being 3/5 of a man. Therefore, you are not considered a citizen of these American states. And they do their damnedest to show you. If somebody's showing you, quit fighting them and believe them. It's like, oh, damn, I'm not a citizen. Got you. Now we need to fight for that. Like I said before, the funniest thing about this, these people, like you said before, they have been even more emboldened by what Trump has done. Trump said, hell, Trump is basically, fuck you niggas, I'll do what I want to. And that emboldened the other white folks that feel just like him. Oh, I can do the same thing. I slap them in their face. They ain't gonna say nothing. What they gonna say? What they gonna do? Oh, they might march. So they ain't gonna do nothing. It's like, oh, wow, for real? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Did anybody see this on the thing? Or is it just me?
Wait, what? No.
Okay.
What?
We got 9 minutes.
see what?
We got 9 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, didn't know that. That's new. That's new. I'm glad it told me. But let me hurry up my thing then. So my point was that, yeah, they will do stuff to embolden themselves because they don't care anymore. They're like, oh, Trump did it, and he has 74 million votes. We got a lot of racist people behind us. Hell, let's swing for the fences. That's what's going on. Getting back to what you were saying about the old guard needs to go and stuff doesn't. White people don't relinquish power. Look at the Queen of England. White people, I could be 158. I'm not letting go of this baton. I'm not letting go. You got to pull it from my cold, dead hands. I've told Joyce this plenty of times. You can tell by their reading. I study white folks too. They're always making graphic novels or books about living forever. I'm a rule from the grave. I'm a vampire. I'm going to still rule. I'm like, hot damn. They scared of death. They don't want to die and they want to rule forever. Even if I got to find a way to make myself live while I'm dead, I could be a being that's dead and I'm still going to rule. That's their thing. I think the reason why they're afraid of death is because they done raised so much hell, they're afraid of what's going to happen. But I will say this. Let's quickly go to the case of Floyd. They got the case now. They've had the defense. They've had the prosecutor. The prosecutor really does not have a case. His whole thing is trying to, he was black and he's angry, but they can't get anybody to prove that. Everybody's like, he's been a gentle giant. That's the fact. They had 2 people give testimony that just like killed it yesterday. One was 18, so they didn't show their face, and one was her cousin who was 8. And her biggest thing was, I saw this happening and I taped it. She's the one that had the video that went viral around the world. And she said, the main thing, I kept waking up crying and praying and upset because I couldn't do more for him. What does she
brought me to tears?
Yeah. And what does she do? What does she want to do? Like so many others. And this is what I tell us we need to do. She wanted to go down there and help him get off of that man. And that's one thing I can say what Eric has been talking about, secure the perimeter. But see, Eric, he says secure the perimeter, but he has nothing behind it. Let me explain to you what we mean about secure the perimeter, what he should be saying, but he's too scared to say. Secure the perimeter means this. This is why I take it to mean. We need to get some brothers out here and some sisters like they did with the Panthers. And we need to police our own neighborhoods and get registered firearms. When you see the police doing their duty, watch them. If they're doing the correct thing, take them to jail, do it the right way, cool. If you see somebody torturing a man on the street, You say, this is not going to happen. Guns up. Get off of him right now. We'll call the police. Get off of him. So you're interrupting the police. Get off of him. He gets off. They'll get their car. They see 35 black folks with guns pointing at them. They'll get their car and they roll away. If we need to take him to jail because he's a criminal, fine. But you are not going to torture and murder this man in front of us. And that's exactly what they did to George Floyd. And they looked at those people like, you ain't going to do shit. He sat there on his neck, leaning back and forth, like do something. There were several people that tried to walk off the curb and come over there. He grabbed his pepper spray. He was about to spray him. Don't you come out here. We are so controlled. And that's why that girl felt so helpless. We're so controlled, afraid, they might kill us or whatever. Like that man said, it only took one. If one black guy would have went down there, the other ones would have went too. And we'd have stopped them all. It wasn't just that man on his neck. There were 3 other police officers on the back of this guy. On his butt, on his back, on his legs.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's what we mean by securing the perimeter.
I agree. Because the thing is as well, when you come to that point where he's like, okay, what do? You can't leave, we can't do that because the thing is you can't give up ground. But securing the perimeter, I agree in a buddy system. Like, I don't think right now in this day and time that we should really be walking in small numbers now. Black people should be walking in large numbers.
That's what I've been saying.
And that's true. And you know what I mean? And that should be the truth now, because the thing is the trust has been betrayed for so long. Yes. You know what I mean? For over a century. And you know what I mean? This pandemic in this right now is just really highlighted where their intentions are. Even though they do not say it. You know what I mean? The intentions are there and always will be there. And like I know there is a portion of white people, for black people, but they literally cannot see how a black person lives. Mm-hmm. How that you have to keep on looking over your shoulder. It's that peace of mind that they have that we don't have. And that's a problem. And the thing is, it's true right now, as far as Eric, I agree with that, securing the perimeter. The thing is, we have to take this now into our own hands. And we have to be together in numbers and also just gradually start protecting ourselves and training ourselves to battle against militia, really the malicious intent.
We got to do we have to do like what white people do. You see how they go out here and train these damn militias and train. We need to do the same thing. We need to train for hand-to-hand combat. We need to train with guns. We need to train with, and it's sad. But and see the thing, like I always say, I loved about the Panthers is we have people like Joyce here. Joyce is in the Army. She can help utilize and train some people and get us up and going to protect the neighborhood. We ain't trying to overthrow no government. That's not who we are. No. We're trying to protect our homes. Right. That's why we would be doing it. We're not an installation of people trying to take over.
Fighting for the right to live.
Stuff. We're just trying to live, right?
Yeah, we're trying to live. The right to live, and it's not. That's what I'm saying. And it's funny because the thing is, as far as these lawmakers are, saying, it's just for them, and this is legislation, and this is not racism. This thing is a very serious thing. You know what I'm saying? I think they keep on thinking how small if it's within their community or whether it's within their state. This is bigger than what they think.
Joyce, the last word goes to you because I got 2 minutes on the clock.
Absolutely. So I agree with both of you guys, and I can just caveat to say that it has been allowed too long, and enough actions legitimately justice has not been served. Right. And until the individuals are held accountable, and I'm saying the individuals that allow this to happen and those that then participate. So if you're the governor and you fail to, then it's time for you to go. But it's because no justice has been served. And because of that, it's been given, they feel like, we've been given permission to do it because nothing's really going to happen. And I'm just like, the trust is gone. There's no trust. There's no integrity. And as whatever services the people are in, we all have an obligation to this nation. We even, as us Christians, we have an obligation to the Father. Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Yes.
And so not only are they breaking the commitments, the amendments, they kill it. I mean, they just disregarding the word. So
less than a minute. I gotta close up. I'm sorry, I gotta close up. I got less than a minute. I'm so sorry about this. Something has arose, and I'll get with you guys off camera about this. But I would just like to say, thank my panelists for being here today. I'd like to tell y'all, please come back and join us on Another Lee's Corner. We're gonna get whatever this was worked out. I don't know what happened today, but we're gonna get it worked out. Thank y'all for joining us today. Remember, come back to Lee's Corner where we talk about the things you want to talk about. Y'all have a great day. We'll get back with you.